Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. Welcome back to my computer posture mistakes and fixes series. This is episode 4. Thanks for joining me. I value your time and I promise I will make it as worthwhile as possible. Computer posture can be a very boring and painful topic. I try to create content that is free, open-minded, relatable, and actionable. Quick note, the info in this presentation is not medical advice. It's based off my experience and my opinions. I talk about good habits that have helped me live a higher quality, sedentary lifestyle. Do your research, make good decisions, and be the best possible advocate you can be for your own healthcare. The specific goals of my channel are to help the user decrease pain caused by sitting at a computer. That's always going to be my primary goal. Increase energy, improve mental clarity, and increase work productivity. A quick note about me, my name is Todd Bowen. I've got a degree in information technology, so I've taken classes like workstation ergonomics, user experience, and systems analysis and design. Also a lifelong athlete and exerciser, as well as the last 20 plus years I've been living a sedentary lifestyle. Here's a quick look at my website. If you want to download a free computer posture checklist, go to sittingposture.com and just click on the top of the toolbar here. This posture checklist has only to do with the sitting process. We haven't made one on standing yet. May do that here in the near future, but this is just for how to sit at a computer with good posture. You could also sign up for my email newsletter if you'd like. I send out one email a week. I don't send any spam. Just one email a week on Fridays, and I'll send out, in there will be a link to the article that I wrote that week. I write one article a week, and I post 2 YouTube videos a week. So links to those will also be in that one email, that weekly email. If you want to sign up there, go to sittingposture.com and enter your email address right here. Last note, I'm not compensated by any product sellers or manufacturers. There's no paid promotion in this video. So if you see a product in here, it's either simply coincidence or it is something that I paid my own money for and I am a fan of the product. There's no paid promotion in this video. So let's get started. Computer posture mistakes and fixes, episode 4. Thanks for joining me. Here's a good one. This is one of my favorite pictures to try to get my point across. Not terrible posture here, definitely could be better. He's not slouched over too bad, but he's definitely leaning forward. And when he leans forward like that, that's going to put a lot of contraction on the hip flexors and the muscles around his pelvis on the anterior side of his body. You can see that, I've said this many times on other videos, I believe that the internal shoulder rotation that happens when we grab a keyboard and a mouse sets off a chain reaction, which then leads to what is called kyphosis. But what that basically is a slouch, a slight slouch forward of the upper spine. And you can see he's got some inflammation going in here. So that internal rotation, internal shoulder rotation is leading to that kyphosis, that curvature of the spine. Lumbar is almost intact down here. It's not terribly, it's not bowed out backwards to the posterior side of his body. I want to mention his foot right here. This is a big issue right here. This is one of my top 3 injuries that I had from sitting at a computer desk, is sitting with my foot like this and not flat on the floor like this. This is correct. It could be a little bit more behind him, but anyway, this foot underneath him, I used to sit with both feet like that, and it caused terrible confusion between the back of my ankle and the front of my ankle. So terrible confusion and dysfunction throughout that ankle joint, which led to issues up into my knees as well. One more thing I want to notice about this, his eye level is at the middle of the monitor. I would probably lower this monitor and also bring it closer to him. It's all the way at the back of the desk. I'd bring it closer. Maybe that'll cut down on the tendency that he has to lean forward. And if he could work on his internal shoulder rotation a little bit, maybe he wouldn't slouch forward as much as well. But I would bring this forward and I would bring it down so that the top of the monitor screen is eye level. And here's an example of correct posture. You can see how the head is over the body. On the previous picture, his head is in front of the body. But here it's more balanced and more neutral over the body. You can see the natural curvature of the spine here. So when people say to sit up straight, That doesn't mean straighten your spine. This is sitting up straight right here, and there's natural curves in the spine. Both feet are flat on the floor. Doesn't, obviously it's hard to tell in an x-ray picture, but it doesn't look like there's any external shoulder rotation here. He's not lunging forward with his shoulders or with his upper spine. And here's a better look at that natural curvature of the spine. You got the cervical here, which is the neck, and then you got the thoracic spine here. Down here you've got that lumbar curve, and then of course it goes into the sacrum and the pelvis. Here's an example that I want to talk about. I noticed off the bat, again, her eye level is not at the top of the monitor screen, so I'd put a monitor tower or a monitor riser or even just a few textbooks, hardback books, underneath here to raise that up. Excuse me. So I would raise her monitor up so her eye level is at the top of the monitor screen. And then I notice here, it's probably hard for everybody else to notice, but I pick things out like this. She's got one of those big bulky plastic keyboards. So I would definitely switch that out, because what that'll do, and it looks like she's got a bulky mouse too. You can tell how her wrist is cocked back a little bit just to get her hand onto that mouse. What I would do is I would buy a very flat ergonomic keyboard, flat ergonomic mouse, so that she doesn't have to cock her wrist back to get it onto the mouse and the keyboard, because I used to suffer from a lot of carpal tunnel syndrome in my wrist, and I don't believe it was from the actual act of typing. I think it was from cocking my wrist backwards to lift my hands onto that bulky keyboard and mouse. Because when I got a flatter, more ergonomic mouse, my carpal tunnel pain went away in a matter of days. It was pretty eye-opening. But the last thing I want to mention about this picture here, notice how this is a great view of her upper arm, and it's flared out at a 45-degree angle. That's definitely not good. She's probably flaring it out because her chair's too low. So if she could raise this chair up a little bit, that would allow her to bring her elbow in here comfortably. That's a big issue right there, because even though her forearm is resting on that desk, it's causing muscle activity up in here, and that's repetitive strain. So over a period of time, even though, like I said, her arm is supported, it's causing strain to hold it at that 45-degree angle, and that could cause a lot of issues. It did for me, speaking from experience. Here's a good one. Again, extended monitor would be great for him. He's probably just working in a library or something like that. So it's understandable if we're just going to work for an hour or two or 30 minutes or whatever to look down at a laptop screen. We're obviously not going to carry an extended monitor everywhere we go. But if this is his permanent location to work at, it would definitely be worth getting an extended monitor. I got mine for I think $150, and you can find them even cheaper than that on sale, I'm sure. All it takes is one HDMI cable, plug into his laptop right here, plug it into the monitor, and plug the monitor into the wall. It's real simple. No software to be downloaded or anything like that. Another thing, you'll notice the upper arm on him is also out 45 degrees like the user in the previous video. And he's using the mouse pad on the laptop, which, again, very convenient for travel and when we're just doing a little bit of quick work. But over an 8-hour period a day or 40 hours a week, reaching over to the middle of our body to use that mouse all day, constantly, and clicking it all day, that'll cause some strain in the arm and in the upper back as well, believe it or not. Again, speaking from experience, I've had that pain before. Here's another one. I want to talk about her elbow here. So you can see how her elbow is below the desk. That's causing her to engage these tendons to lift her arm up there. And what that could do is cause tennis elbow. There's a lot of tendons in there that could get overworked easily, and that's a very chronic, stubborn injury to try to get rid of. Not to mention something called ulnar nerve entrapment, which is kind of like which is kind of similar to carpal tunnel of the wrist. Ulnar nerve entrapment happens when the elbow is engaged like this for repetitive strain over long periods of time. You'll notice over here she lowers her desk so that her elbow is just above the desk, and her arm is at a 90-degree angle, which is much better than this position right here. She's also leaning forward here, but we've already covered that in a previous slide. Okay, here's a good one over here. You'll notice this guy on the left has his feet flat on the floor, which is great. This guy on the right is sitting exactly how I used to sit, and that's going to cause issues, pain and dysfunction. He's sitting with his feet underneath his body. So it may not seem like a big deal. Like this is a natural position to be in for someone weightlifting, like doing a squat or playing sports, jumping, landing. This is a natural position, but not when it's held like that for long periods of time, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. What it does is it tenses up the front anterior muscles and tendons of the lower leg, and it also overextends the back muscles, the calf, the soleus, the gastroc, the Achilles tendon. It creates incredible confusion and dysfunction there. You also notice, again, I'm sounding like a broken record, both of them are working on a laptop and not on an extended monitor. It may not seem like a lot, but every little fraction of an inch that you turn your head down and hold it there all day makes a big difference right up in this upper neck area right there. So this company, wherever they're working, they spent this money on these great desks, standing desks. They could stand up here if they wanted to. They're obviously adjustable, but it would definitely pay off. It would definitely be a good thing for them to take care of their employees and put an extended monitor with an HDMI cable running so they can extend their screen. But otherwise, their posture does look decent. They're sitting without backless chairs, so that's something it would probably be tough to do all the time, but obviously it would be a good exercise to keep that upper torso activated temporarily. Here's a good one of a computer user slouching forward, kyphosis of that upper back. That's when the anterior portion of the spine gets compressed and the posterior back portion of the spine gets overextended. You'll also notice his elbows are way below the desk. So even though they're resting on the desk right there, he's using a lot of muscles and tendons in his elbow, in that soft side of his elbow right there to lift his hands. He does have the keyboard and the mouse that I like though. They're flat. These are made by Apple. Not compensated by Apple, obviously. This is just a product that I really like that helped improve my quality of life quickly. Like I said, when I switched to this keyboard from that big plastic bulky keyboard, my carpal tunnel pain and my wrist went away in a matter of a few days. Moving on. Oh, one more thing I want to notice. Look, he's looking down at his monitor like that. I don't know why he's got it at a 45-degree angle, but I would definitely bring his monitor flatter, and I would raise his chair up somehow. Obviously that chair doesn't look like it raises, but I would definitely try to sit higher. That would allow his elbows to be higher and at desk level. And then I would bring that monitor closer. I'd bring the keyboard just a little bit closer. Maybe he can still rest his wrists on the table, but I would bring that keyboard a little closer and that monitor a little bit closer. So here's a good look of what slouching forward like that can do. What will happen is, this is what a normal disc looks like, but when they slouch forward, when the user slouches forward, it crushes the disc a little bit, and over a long period of time that makes a big difference. And what it does at the same time is it pulls apart the disc in this back posterior part of the spine. So what happens is it compresses here and it gets longer here, and it also can tear here. So what that does is causes spinal disc degeneration. Like this is considered a degenerative disc, even though it's difficult to see the difference. Like these distances between these two vertebrae are pretty normal, even though you can tell there's some degeneration there. But that's what happens when they slouch forward. This side of the disc gets crushed, this side of the disc extends, and it creates pain, inflammation, nerve issues, and spinal disc degeneration. Here's a user. Obviously, she's working on a laptop, not an extended monitor, so she's looking down, very far down. She does have an external mouse on her laptop, which I do like. And it's a flat one too. I don't know what brand that is, but it's a very flat mouse, which I like a lot. And you can tell her elbows are flared out. You can tell on this one over here it's flared out. Obviously she's not typing right now, but it seems like if she's sitting in this position now, this is probably how she sits when she types, when she's actually doing work. And just one more thing about sitting before we go over a few slides of standing workstations. You'll notice here, just three things here, three important things. Eye level, hitting the top of the monitor screen. Elbow level, just above the desk, right? And then feet flat on the floor. So that's my three main variables when it comes to sitting at a computer with good posture. There's a lot of other stuff to keep in mind, but those are my three main variables. Eye level is at the top of the monitor screen, elbows just above the desk, and feet flat on the floor. So you'll notice when we switch over to standing, I wouldn't switch from sitting 8 hours a day to standing 8 hours a day. I definitely would not do that, because what that'll do is that'll just create different injuries. Sitting at a computer is actually not the enemy. Repetitive strain is the enemy. It's not the position we're in, it's how long we're in it. That's the issue. So if we go from sitting 8 hours a day to standing 8 hours a day, it's just going to cause different injuries and different repetitive strain injuries. But the first thing I want to mention is you'll see his eye level is straight at the monitor when he's sitting. His eye level is straight at the top of the monitor when he's standing, so that's very good. I would pull this monitor a little bit closer. It's kind of far off. His elbow height here is just above the desk. His elbow height here is just above the desk. His feet are flat here. His feet here are on some kind of a footstool, which can be good. If he has to raise his chair up high enough, it depends on the height of the desk. If the desk is a little too high, he can raise his chair higher to get those elbows above the desk, which makes that okay. But that would leave his feet hanging in the air. They wouldn't be touching the floor. So it is good to use a footstool in situations like that. Here's a good example. He's got a beautiful monitor here that's obviously a great eye level. The top of his monitor screen. He's got the flat keyboard, which looks like it's Apple, I don't know. But he's got the flat keyboard. He's doing a lot of things right here. One thing I want to mention is that it looks like he's typing something off of his phone. And even though I'm just guessing there, if that's the case, one thing I want to mention is this cheap, inexpensive, I think they're about $25 on Amazon. They're called a gooseneck phone holder. So what they do, they're just a plastic. I have no relationship with the company who sells them. It's just a product that I've paid my own money for, and I like it a lot. It clamps on easily to the table here, and you can raise it up, you can lower it, you can bend it all over the place. So this has been very helpful for me. Even if I'm not typing something that I'm reading off my phone, I still have my phone on one of these at my desk, just so if I get a message, I don't have to look down. And people may think that's silly, you can't look down for 1 second on your phone every once in a while. It all adds up. It's just like bending down. Do you want to bend down one time, or do you want to bend down 10 or 15 times? Looking down adds up the same way, especially when we're doing it over an 8-hour period each day, 40 hours a week. Here's a great desk. I'm not affiliated with the manufacturer of this desk. I've never used one, but I would like to use one, so I may get one day. It's adjustable, obviously. Extended monitor. I definitely would not keep the monitor at an angle like that, because that's going to cause some twisting in the upper torso and the spine area. That's going to cause terrible imbalance, even in the hips too, probably. So I wouldn't keep that there at all. I would definitely put that straight onto the desk. But otherwise, they can sit here, they can sit on a stool here, they can stand here, they can raise it and lower it. I like that setup right there. Okay, here's a good one. Again, just assuming that he's looking at this tablet right here as he types. These gooseneck holders that I mentioned on a couple previous slides, some of them are also made to hold tablets. So that would be very helpful. Even though it's not exactly aesthetically pleasing, it is very, very functional, and it's helped save me a lot of repetitive strain of looking down at my phone and at my tablet when I'm at a desk working. He's not using an extended monitor, which would help him out a lot. He's not using an external keyboard or an external mouse, which again, If he's just working in this position for a little bit, that's understandable. But the thing is, this is another adjustable standing desk. So if you're going to invest in an adjustable standing desk, I would definitely invest in a $150 monitor, or even cheaper if you can find one, external monitor, and that HDMI cable. Those run from like $10 to $20. You can find one for about that rate. Anyway, plug the external monitor into the wall, plug the HDMI cable into the monitor, and that's it. It's good to go. It just extends, your laptop will extend onto that screen. Here's a good picture. I think her elbow is a little bit below the desk here, and it looks like her shoulders are hunched up, kind of compensating for that. I think her shoulders are hunched up in order to get her elbow in that point anyway. So if it was relaxed a little bit more, I think it would be down here. So I understand this I'm not sure how adjustable this platform desk is. It looks like a standing desk, a small standing desk that fits on top of a normal desk. So I would say, hopefully I'd get this one a little bit lower. That monitor looks like it's a little far from her. Hard to tell from this angle. She's got a beautiful big monitor back here. Flat external keyboard, flat external mouse. These are some pretty cool variables that she's got going on. Just with one minor thing, I would definitely change. I would try to get the height of that platform right there a little bit lower. And again, just one more reminder, notice the three things that are the same, my three main variables, whether it's sitting at a workstation or standing at a workstation. Eye level is reaching the top of the monitor screen, sitting and standing. Elbow height, just above the desk, sitting and standing. And obviously feet on a footrest here, because he had to raise his chair up in order to get his elbow above the desk level there. And obviously his feet are flat on the floor here. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're taking a big step forward in improving the quality of your life. Sign up for free email updates if you'd like. I told you about that at the beginning of the video, sittingposture.com/newsletter. I only send out one email a week, and that's on Fridays. And what will be included in that email is a link to the one article that I write every week, as well as the 2 YouTube videos that I post every week. And if you sign up and you want to unsubscribe for whatever reason, you can just scroll to the bottom of any of the emails and unsubscribe with a simple click or two. You can also download a free computer posture checklist. This is sitting posture only. I haven't made one for standing posture checklist yet. Sittingposture.com/checklist. You can go there. It's a downloadable free PDF. That way it's easy to print out and post at your desk as a consistent reminder on how to check in on your body awareness and make sure you're hitting all the different variables. And finally, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video if you don't mind, youtube.com/@sittingposture. Don't forget the @ in there if you're in your browser. That'll take you to my channel. All of my content is free, and it always will be. The more people that see my videos, the more ability I have to make more content. So I really appreciate you guys for helping me spread my message. Liking my YouTube video will help me get there. Subscribing to my channel will help me get there. And finally, if you found this video helpful, please consider forwarding it to a friend or family member who sits at a computer full time. That is like the ultimate thank you. If you found this video helpful and you trust it enough to send it over to a friend or family member, that is the ultimate thank you. So thanks, guys. That's it for the video today. Computer posture mistakes and fixes, episode 4. This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. Thanks again. We'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.